What's your take on Hinkie stepping down?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly happy. And I say that without a smile on my face because I'm dead serious. It's not a joke to me. I don't wish for anybody to lose their job. He stepped down hastily. He should have been fired. He should have been kicked out the door. Sam Hinkie should never be a general manager in a sport again. It is just that simple. I am quite sure he is incredibly knowledgeable and smart. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times and talking to him. I have no personal animus towards him whatsoever. I don't know the man. I'm simply going by the disgraceful job the organization did. And there are those who would say that he was just following ownership. I don't want to hear that. As far as I'm concerned, it's the kind of job you shouldn't want to be a part of if you got a winning bone in your body. To sit up there and to sell this product to the city of Philadelphia has been absolutely, positively disgraceful. Mark Stein talked about the rumors. I reported about 2 hours ago, Brian Colangelo will be the new general manager running basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. It'll probably be announced Monday. That is imminent. It is going to happen. He's the new man. I would have liked to have seen Skip somebody like Danny Ferry get a good look because I thought that to some degree he was railroaded. It would have been nice for him to get an opportunity. I would have liked to have seen somebody like Joe Dumars get a look. But I think Joe Dumars can end up in New Orleans because I don't know what's going to happen with Demps. Time will tell. It remains to be seen. And, of course, I want my man Troy Weaver and Scott Perry and individuals like that to get looks because I think they deserve it, although I know none of them personally like that. Let me get back to Sam Hinkie. The Philadelphia 76ers, he said 34 months. That's almost 3 years on the job. 19-63, 18-64, and now 10-68. You drafted a Michael Carter-Williams, who's a Rookie of the Year product. You traded him to Milwaukee. You drafted Joel Embiid. He hasn't even played for you yet because he's been injured. You drafted Nerlens Noel before that, knowing he couldn't play. So when you talk about building something, what they did was they never really added any worthy veterans to the roster, okay? And more importantly than anything else, Sam Hinkie is a poor man's version of Phil Jackson in terms of failing to ingratiate yourself with agents, cultivating relationships so you can have an opportunity to get marquee talent to a top 5 market that is the city of Philadelphia. The only thing more disgraceful, I apologize. Nothing was more disgraceful than Sam Hinkie's performance as an executive. But the only thing close to that, to being that disgraceful, was the city of Philadelphia, a proud sports town, who was so numb to his alarming level of ineptitude that they didn't even react to how awful this team was, okay? That's the crime in it all, because this passionate city where I worked for 17 years should be ashamed of itself for even tolerating Sam Hinkie this long. The man needed to go. He didn't go out there and get any marquee guys. He didn't go out there and recruit. He didn't go out there and ingratiate himself with agents and other reps for players so you could get marquee guys. He tried to sell the city on building through the draft, and what he did to Brett Brown. It is so bad in Philadelphia. Let's understand the magnitude of this. I've had coaches come to me, including the president of the Coaches Association, Rick Carlisle, literally look me in the face and say, it's a shame what's being done to Brett Brown. He is highly respected.
I think he's going to survive.
I'm just saying.
I think he's going to go on as the coach.
I'm just talking about what situation he was put. He has not been given an opportunity to coach.
Right.
That's how bad this is. And you know, Skip, because you know how, no matter how acerbic Popovich can come across, he is a good man. And you know when it comes to the profession, Popovich would never say anything. Remember when San Antonio annihilated Philadelphia? Greg Popovich comes out and say, you just feel bad because what can you do when you don't have any talent to work with? Greg Popovich would never say something like that unless he was indicting the organization. So thank God Jerry Colangelo is there. I don't have a problem with Brian Colangelo being brought on board because even though he hasn't won a championship, did a good job in Phoenix, did a relatively good job in Toronto, knows what he's doing, has relationships with agents and things of that nature where you can recruit talent to potentially come to Philadelphia. I'm not saying he's the greatest option because there were others that could have been considered as well, but I've got no problem with it whatsoever. And thank God that Philadelphia suddenly appears to be committed, Skip, to at least trying. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I've reached out. I'm not going to say to who, but I've reached out to some power brokers in the NBA, I've been asking for this for quite a long time because you needed to do something because this was straight sabotage and they were tanking seasons. It was not good for the NBA and Sam Hinkie needed to go. He's a numbers guy. Let him be some team's capologist. But he should never, ever, ever in this lifetime be a general manager again.
Got it. I'm not going to condemn Sam Hinkie the way you just did. I think there was some redeeming value to what he did and what he's left in Philadelphia. He is a Moneyball guy. He's out of that Billy Beane baseball school of numbers and analytics, and he is highly respected, Sam Hinkie, in his profession, in that fraternity.
That.
Okay?
I'm not refuting that.
He's lectured at Harvard and MIT and Stanford.
That's right.
He has an MBA from
That's
Stanford,
right.
so he's that guy. And I get what you're saying because personality does come into play in that role where you have to have the ability to interact on human levels with agents and free agents and whoever, parents and anybody else you have to deal with. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the positive first. I loved Joel Embiid before that draft, and he got a bad break because Embiid's looks like he's damaged good. I don't know what's wrong with this. But what is his foot now? And he has back and okay. I don't know if he'll ever get healthy. But if he had stayed healthy right out of Kansas, I think he would have been a big time pick. What I couldn't understand from Sam Hinkie was he's big on talent over fit. If the talent is there, if the numbers say take this player, go ahead and take him, even though you already have two centers, take another center in Jahlil Okafor. So they got Nerlens and they got Jahlil, and we don't know about Embiid, but he's taken three centers. They also kept getting bad breaks in the lottery because they didn't hit the lottery. You know what I mean? They kept getting just outside the best pick spot in the lottery. So sometimes you just have bad luck. You know what I mean? It doesn't break your way. But he has left the cupboard very full. He has acquired 6 additional first-round picks to what they have. So right on schedule, I think it's perfect for Sixers fans. I know they've suffered through 2 messes. I don't think he was tanking on purpose. I think he had this mad scientist big picture of where he was headed.
Skip.
And again, you can't sell this to fans because it's too long. He was looking at year 3 as the breakthrough year.
Skip, they were tanking on purpose, at least the first couple of years. That's why I made calls. They were tanking on purpose. That was what was most... Skip, I am not stuttering. They were tanking on purpose. They were tanking on purpose. And let me tell you something right now. I get all of that stuff. You didn't hear me say the man should be unemployed. You didn't hear me say the man should not be somebody's capologist. You didn't hear me say he should not be a numbers watcher. I'd hire Sam Hinkie for that. That's not a problem. The problem is that when you're the GM and the president of basketball operations, you are essentially the executive face of the franchise, which means that you are somebody that should be working to cultivate relationship, not sitting in a cubicle or in a corner office, your head buried in a computer, looking at numbers so you could go to an owner and say, look at how much money I'm saving you. They were tanking
But it's
seasons.
not money he's saving. He's looking at the numbers to project whether players can play out of college.
But he was also, let me tell you something right now. You never added a veteran. You know, think about this.
He didn't want to.
Let me tell you something. When you talk about losing, do you have any idea what perpetual losing does to the psyche of a young man?
Sure.
This man was ruining lives with his inability to build and construct a team. And they were leaving it to Brett Brown to handle everything else. And all the coaches know it, even coaches that wanted jobs, that would have liked an opportunity to have a head coach. They were like, damn, look at what's being done to Brett Brown. I'm telling you what coaches told me.
I got it.
And so when we look at it from that perspective,
respected.
and then you talk about the analytics, because this guy, Sam Hinkie, Daryl Morey, that's his guy. You know, that's one of his guys. All of these analytics, dude, let this be a lesson to everybody out there. You can have analytics. There's a numbers game. And by the way, analytics ain't nothing but statistics. Let's just call it what it is, okay? And the fact of the matter is, some would tell you, I was just speaking to a couple of Pat Riley's former players last week, and they were all reminding me, Pat Riley was doing this in the 90s. Pat Riley had the analytics. He had the plus-minus differential. He knew everything that was going on. He would tell you what you didn't do, what the numbers show, et cetera, et cetera. This ain't new. They're trying to make it new to carve out a different profession so they could get paid and ease other guys who are basketball guys out of the mix.
Okay.
And this man, Sam Hinkie, got away with it for far too long. Thank God he's gone.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay, but the Colangelo family, especially Brian as he takes over, and father, obviously highly regarded, they should thank God for what Sam Hinkie left them with. 6 additional first-round picks, $50 million in cap space.
Yes.
It's right on schedule for them with their personal
that's
ties
fair.
to.
That is more than fair. But you need to understand that wasn't his intention, because guess what? Skip, the draft picks may have been, but in terms of the $50 million in cap space, what difference does it make? LeBron's going to be a free agent. D-Wade's going to be a free agent. Durant is going to be a free agent, along with a bevy of others. You've heard anybody talking about going to Philadelphia?
No,
Nobody. Nobody, because Sam Hinkie was there.
You know Jerry, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
I saw him at the Final Four.
He has close relationships because of USA Basketball with all the biggest stars.
That's right.
Who knows what strings he might be able to pull?
No. In no way am I questioning that. You're absolutely right. I am happy about that. I'm only speaking about Sam Hinkie because I'm telling you, Jerry Colangelo and those boys were in his face trying to force him to do this stuff. This dude he didn't want to do this stuff. In the end, he should have never been the executive face of an organization. He's an underling with a numbers cruncher. Leave him there. Thank God. This is a good day for Philadelphia. It's a good day.
I'm with you. But he did leave it a little better than when he took it over, because when he took it over, it was worse off than this. There was no future when he took it over.
There was no future because of no money and cap space. I get that.
Okay.
I get that. But if you stink up the joint on purpose for years, what the hell you expect to come from it? I mean, think about that. I'm going to stink for years while collecting a paycheck. I'm going to stink for years on purpose. Who gets away with that?
Starting next year, they won't stink.
You're right about that, because Brian Colangelo and Jerry Colangelo ain't having that. I know that much about them. And I believe in Jerry Colangelo. In
fact, right now, I would like the Sixers' future better than the Knicks' future.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I believe that. I believe that right now.
Yeah.
With $50 million in cap space and six picks. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I know
I believe that.
This one's personal, close to home for you, so hopefully
it's disgraceful.